Good morning. It is Tuesday, January the 28th of 2025 at our downtown studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Overcast skies and 22 degrees. I am Chad Holmes. It is the Tuesday edition of the Chad Holmes Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. You can also join us by going to our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com, go to the 98.9 WXCO channel, and you'll be able to see our program streamed live. You can also add questions and comments that way as well. So again, youtube.com, 98.9 WXCO page to see our video stream of the program. You can also share your thoughts with the show, whether it's through a question or a comment, by calling or texting. The number is the same to either call or text, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. You can also use your Civic Media app. Open up the 98.9 WXCO page on the app. Be able to hit a button to call, hit a button to text, hit a button to email, hit a button to go to our website, hit a button to stream, where it's all there. So if you have not downloaded the Civic Media app yet, just go to your app store, search Civic Media. It is free. It is a terrific piece of technology. So do that ASAP. Coming up on the program in just a few minutes, we'll be joined by Brittney Merlot. She is back after a few days away. We'll find out about her trip and find out a bit about the weather with Brittney Merlot. Our meteorologist will join us at 8:21 this morning. Then coming up at 9:06 for the first time in 2025, we'll be joined by Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library. Find out what's going on at the library. That's coming up at the top of the second hour. Also coming up in hour number 2, at the end of the show, we'll have our daily history lesson. We'll talk about some of the famous events that have occurred on this date in history. Talk about some of the celebrity birthdays, events that are taking place this week, and of course our number for the day quiz that will be coming up at the end of the program as well. But to start things off, need to say good morning to our in-studio engineer, our in-studio producer, Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
You're off to a good start this week with our number for the day quiz.
Yep, 1 out of 1.
In fact, you're 2 out of 2 since returning from vacation.
That's true, because I got the Friday one correct after I got back from vacation, and I like yesterday is right as well. So off to a pretty good start this week.
Whatever's in the water in Florida must be good.
Yeah, it must be. It was raining a lot, so maybe some of that water helped to, boost my intelligence a little bit.
A couple of other topics we're going to discuss here today. And one is kind of a big umbrella topic. Talking about, well, I guess the best way to describe it is the old Hillary Clinton book, It Takes a Village. And back, it must be 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. Heck, could be 30 years ago, that the former First Lady, then Senator from New York, then Secretary of State, Democratic nominee for president, wrote a book.
Yes, I remember that. She's definitely come a long way, hasn't she?
And I apologize. I still have this little cough that pops up from time to time, and
It's getting better.
I start waving furiously at Ian to cut off my mic. But it takes a village.
It does.
And we are now in our 8th day of Trump 2.0, the second administration of Donald J. Trump. And everything we hear in the last 8 days, well, most things that we are hearing involve the complete opposite of that. This morning, the lead story on CBS News at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock when I was tuned in, talking about the White House freezing grant payments and other forms of aid to people around the country. We hear about the United States of America basically trying to cut off allies, get into trade wars, talk about different ways of collective security that we have been so successful under since the end of World War II. The idea of everybody is out for themselves under Donald Trump, that the people in California suffering from the wildfires, well, we're not going to give you any aid unless you do things that we want you to do. It's always been, hey, an American city or an American state, an area of America is in trouble. Well, you help them. You don't start putting strings out there. But Republicans are talking about strings because they don't like that California is a Democratic state. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't matter if you're a red state or you're a blue state or you're a purple state. When you're in trouble, the country is supposed to come and rally around you, help you, not where you say you're stuck on your own. And I want to discuss the idea of this, not all for one, but just basically leave you on an island. It's the 5-year anniversary for me of going into the hospital for the first time in my life. 5 years ago today, I went into the hospital, had a serious case of pneumonia. Heck, I may have had COVID. I don't know. This was just before COVID, basically about 6 weeks before the country shut down due to COVID. And I was very, very sick for about two to 3 months. Got to the point where I could hardly breathe. And finally, I had to go into the hospital. And I was in the hospital for almost a week. And then I had to go back to the hospital a month later because I was still having issues. But because of the Affordable Care Act, I am not in debt for my entire life. I did receive a bill. I did have to ultimately pay 5 figures, my cost for my hospital stay. But I was able to pay it off. And now I don't have to worry about being in debt for my entire life, because that is part of the idea of a village where the government is involved in a piece of healthcare legislation that allows people like myself, who until the Affordable Care Act did not have any health insurance. I did not have health insurance until Barack Obama, Democrats, passed the Affordable Care Act without help of Republicans. If I would not have had the Affordable Care Act 5 years ago, and I would have spent nearly a week in the hospital and then have a second trip to the hospital after that for a couple of days, I'd be paying that off for the rest of my life. Every month I would be writing out a check to pay off my medical bill. But because of the Affordable Care Act, because I finally had some coverage, I was able to pay off the amount that I was responsible for because I had insurance. And yes, I did have some bills that I had to pay, but it was not to the level where I couldn't pay it off. And now we have a philosophy under Donald Trump that is basically saying you're on your own. in almost every area of American life. Is that what we want? Is that, for you Donald Trump fans out there, is that what you voted for? And I would really be curious if there's Donald Trump voters out there. Is this what you voted for? Is this basically what you wanted, where we are cutting ourselves off from international organizations? Just yesterday, heard that our health department is not allowed to have any contact with the World Health Organization. Is that what you voted for? Is the idea of leaving Americans on their own little island when it comes to issues, whether it's wildfires on a massive scale or individual issues? Because I imagine that based on this philosophy, we are going to see this new administration and its allies in the Congress again go after the Affordable Care Act and leave millions and millions of Americans without a safety net. Is that what you voted for? I really would love to hear your philosophy out there, that why this is a good road for the United States to go down. Again, I mentioned we have had a system of collective security with a massive part of the world coming together in order to avoid World War III since 1945. That's not to say there hasn't been many armed conflicts around the world since then. But the idea of collective security has worked very, very well. And now you have Donald Trump rattling a saber to erstwhile allies around the world, threatening them over and over again, wanting them to pay more money. I mean, just amazing. Threatening to cause trouble if you don't sell Greenland or don't give them back the Panama Canal. Is that what you voted for? I don't recall that during the campaign. 715-382-9297. So I want to talk again about the idea of it takes a village. Is that quaint? Is that the past? I want to hear your thoughts on that as we continue here this morning. Coming up next, we'll be talking to Brittney Merlot, our meteorologist. She's back. We'll take a look at the weather here on 98.9 WXCO.
Well, keep us together. We can keep them forever and ever. Yeah, we can be heroes just for one day. What you say, I say.
Good morning, Brittney.
Good morning.
How was your
Florida? It was good. It was good. How was yours?
Well, for most part, it was really awesome. Mostly just the temperatures and the rain and a little bit of wind we had to deal with. But yeah, we should have gone on vacation on the week that you were gone, because the temperatures were actually supposed to be like in the 70s and sunny.
When I got there, it was cloudy, windy, rainy, 50s. And then every day got warmer. Then it was 60, 70. So
Yeah. My dad and I got stuck with the well, mostly the 40s, actually. I don't think the temperature got above 50 very much, except for Monday. I think
oh my gosh.
Monday was like the only day where the temperature actually got better and the sun came out for a while too. But
Where the line's
it's the thing
shorter.
about vacations is you never know.
No,
You
you
just
never
gotta
do.
roll with it.
Last time a couple years ago, I went to Florida and it was a tropical depression. I had no idea, and it was just
Oh gosh.
out the entire time. Yeah, it happens.
But honestly, I really can't complain because I had an awesome vacation.
Heck yeah. Were you in a winter coat the whole time?
I didn't have a winter coat. I did just bring a light jacket.
Yeah.
Step right up and don't be shy, because you will not believe your eyes. She's right here behind the glass. You're gonna like her, because she's got class.
And welcome back. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. The time is 8:22. Overcast skies, 22 degrees in downtown Wausau. And very happy to welcome back, after being away for a few days, our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. Brittney, good morning.
Chad, hey, I missed you guys. How have you been?
We have been surviving.
Good.
You missed me with 2 terrible days of voices on Thursday and Friday, but getting back closer to where we should be. But the big question is, how was your time down in Florida?
Oh, it was fantastic. I was flying down there, and the first thing I was doing was flying over the Panhandle. I was like, "Where's the snow? Where's the snow?" But that melted very, very rapidly. So no more snow down in Florida. They warmed up too. By the time I left the state, it was into the mid 70s, and that I was sweating. Be real. I came from the negative 40 wind chill to the 70 degree. That was too big of a temperature swing, but I'm not complaining. I brought some heat back for you guys. So that's my present today.
You were talking on Pat's show that it wasn't as fun and games for you down there.
No, it wasn't. Not really much fun, to be honest. I went down there and I was on an island. It was actually a state park that needed a lot of help cleaning up. So I went down there and was moving brush around, debris around. It is still not looking too good. This is in the Tampa Bay outer skirts area, so like Clearwater, St. Pete's, little islands out there. So it's going to still take probably another year to get a lot of those things really good and up and going after those hits from those 2 hurricanes.
What do we not know for folks that live up here that is the aftermath of a hurricane? What did you see down there that maybe would surprise people? Because obviously during the storms itself, we hear a lot about it. What did you see in the aftermath?
You see a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to be washed up on shore. The debris is just everywhere as far as your eye can see. The sand and the erosion on these beaches and islands are significant. So there's tons of ships out there dredging, trying to get all the sand back to the beach. So that itself takes a good year or 2 to do. So when you head out to the beach, you think beautiful sights and views. Well, right now it's not as pretty because, again, you see all those ships out there. You see all this work going on. A lot of things are closed, businesses closed, not a lot of tourists. So the locals definitely hurting, struggling. There's bars, businesses, restaurants, shops, still destroyed, still boarded up. Houses being rebuilt at the moment, and some haven't even been touched yet. So I think a lot of it has to do with what insurance you have or who's there to help you.
Well, let's talk about what we have here. As you said, after last week, it feels really nice to have a little bit of warmer temperatures. Still waiting for any kind of significant snow as we get to the end of January. Again, it's just been a broken record. So, but the good news is it was cold last week. It feels nicer having a little bit of warm weather, doesn't it?
It does. It should put a little pep in your step. It has for me at least. I mean, the winds too, they're going to be so vicious today. They're going to be gusting around 40 miles per hour, pulling in the south warm heat. And we are going to hit highs today in the upper 30s to maybe even 40 degrees. But, wind advisories are definitely out there. I think from 1 to 5 o'clock is probably going to be the worst time frame for these winds. But otherwise, it's an up and down week, a very interesting one. That jet stream and pattern has shifted north, which is allowing us to see a mix of everything. We're getting a warm front today, cold front tomorrow, warm front on Thursday, cold front on Friday. So a lot of up and down. So I'm worried about you, Chad, and people who are holding on to some colds and sicknesses because the up and down in the weather isn't going to help.
Thursday, I got to ask you, mid 40s? Is that looking?
Yes.
I mean, and also sunshine. It's going to be like a spring day.
Absolutely. It's going to feel amazing. I mean, it already kind of feels pretty nice outside right now, but 45 degrees on Thursday. Sunny, like you said, that's what we're looking at. Overnight lows only falling into the mid 20s. So just beautiful. But we do drop down a little bit into the weekend, and we do have a small shot of some snowfall, hopefully Saturday afternoon and into Sunday. And this one is going to bring some rain and wintry mix too as it departs.
So no significant snow though.
No.
Boy, it's amazing. I just the new normal, and it's back-to-back years without this much snow. Thank goodness for snowmaking machines up at Granite Peak.
Amen. I agree. And the cool enough temperatures for them to be able to do that. I agree with you, because it's been a weird winter.
To say the least. Well, number one, it's great to have you back. Number two, let's not get blown away with the wind.
Agreed. And maybe some power outages too. So just keep in mind that could be a thing.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. But Brittney, again, great to have you back. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, Brittney.
That's our Brittney Merlot. Joins us every weekday morning at 8:21 here on the program. Right now in downtown Wausau at our studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Overcast skies, temperature 22 degrees. The winds right now, not too bad. We'll see them kick up a little bit later on, but right now winds are out of the south at 7 miles per hour. The dew point is 15, relative humidity of 75%. The barometer at 29.59 inches. Visibility is 10 miles, and that wind chill factor right now is 13 degrees. Coming up, we will get an information update. And I tell you, you never know what you're going to hear next. What is the Trump administration up to now? Well, we're going to find out. We'll get the latest news from around the country and around the world. We'll also get our weather and sports. Mike Clemens will let us know Bucks were victorious last night. We'll get the sports report, entertainment news as well. Information update, top and bottom of every hour right here on 98.9 WXCO and on the Civic Media Network. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Busy
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand that's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down underground to a dive bar in a West End town. In a West End town, the dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls. In a West End town, the dead end world, the East End boys and West
And welcome
End
back, Chad
girls.
Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Again, you can join us as well by sending a text or give us a call, 715-382-9297. Again, 715-382-9297. Mentioned earlier about it takes a village. Well, if Donald Trump and Republicans in the Congress are not going to help and support communities impacted by the LA wildfires, we can. Civic Media is encouraging listeners who are looking for ways to support folks impacted by wildfires in Southern California to check out Convoy of Hope, a nonprofit helping provide immediate relief to those in need. Head on over to our Civic Media website, civicmedia.us. That's civicmedia.us. Click on the banner at the top of the website for more information. And again, it does take all of us. And
It does.
I do not understand the idea that there are folks that think that we can do everything on our own. We can't do everything on our own. There are certain things that need to be done that have to be done through collective engagement. And if you look at what Donald Trump has started to do now, and in fact, again, the latest that will be put into effect later today, the White House ordering a freeze on all federal financial assistance. The order may potentially halt public programs that affect millions of Americans. We have a 34-time convicted felon who is trying to blow up the United States government. And there are a couple of prongs here that I want to get into.
Go ahead.
The first prong is about this latest brazen power grab by Trump. Again, this freeze, the White House Budget Office ordering the pause on all federal grants and loans, according to an internal memorandum sent yesterday, potentially impacting trillions, with a T, trillions in government spending and halting public programs that affect millions of Americans. And they're trying to say, well, Donald Trump won the election, so everything should be in line with what Donald Trump wants. The freeze on federal assistance slated to take effect at 5 p.m. today. It marks the latest move by the Trump administration to exert control over federal funding, even that which has already been allocated by Congress. A man named Matthew Vaith. He is the acting director of the White House Office of Management and Budget. He put out this memorandum. He said, quote, "This temporary pause will provide the administration time to review agency programs and determine the best use of the funding for these programs consistent with the law and the president's priorities." I think it's probably more consistent with the president's priorities than the law. And again, the list, they're trying to use, again, these words that catch the attention of the far right. He says the pause also applies to other relevant agency activities that may be impacted by the executive orders, including but not limited to financial assistance for foreign aid, non-governmental organizations, DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal, according to the memo. Vaith wrote, and this is silly, Career and political appointees in the executive branch have a duty to align federal spending and action with the will of the American people as expressed through presidential priorities. So he says that Donald Trump's priorities are the will of the American people. Let me say that again. That is the policy right now of the Trump government, that the will of the American people is what Donald Trump wants. Yes, Donald Trump won the election. But Donald Trump did not get a majority of the votes. Donald Trump did not get even close to a majority of the voting age public. And the idea that the will of Donald Trump is the will of the American people is a lie. This Vaith, again, wrote, financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administration priorities, focusing taxpayer dollars to advance a stronger and safer America, eliminating the financial burden of inflation for citizens, unleashing American energy and manufacturing, ending wokeness and the weaponization of government, promoting efficiency in government, and making America healthy again, all capital letters. The use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity, transgenderism, and Green New Deal social engineering policies is a waste of taxpayer dollars that does not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. One can disagree with that. While massive parts of America burns, Donald Trump fiddles. This is ridiculous. Senator Patty Murray of Washington State and Representative Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut, the top Democratic appropriators in Congress, wrote a letter to the White House on Monday night outlining their extreme alarm with the move. The lawmakers wrote, the scope of what you are ordering is breathtaking, unprecedented, and will have devastating consequences across the country. We write today to urge you in the strongest possible terms to uphold the law and the Constitution and ensure all federal resources are delivered in accordance with the law. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer also quickly criticized the pause. Congress approved these investments, and they are not optional. They are the law, the New York Democrats said in a statement Monday night. These grants help people in red states and blue states, support families, help parents raise kids, and lead to stronger communities. Schumer added the action jeopardizes billions upon billions of community grants and financial support that help millions of people across the country. It will mean missed payrolls and rent payments and everything in between, chaos for everything from universities to nonprofit charities. Donald Trump was not lying when he said he wanted to be a dictator on day one. And the next prong of what I want to talk about when it comes to this is Democrats need to do more than put out statements. Democrats need to take the initiative.
Absolutely. The Democrats need to stand up for themselves. Instead of just, writing notes and sending emails, they have to be, like you said yesterday, they have to get up in front of a podium, in front of a microphone, in front of cameras, and talk to the news people and actually stand up against this rhetoric, I think is the right word. I could be using that wrong. I'm sorry. But they have to stand up against, these terrible actions, actually come up with a plan and actually put it into action. Instead of just saying what they're going to do, stand up to it, you actually have to do it.
And in the past year, the Supreme Court of the United States said there is almost total presidential immunity. That if Donald Trump breaks the law, Too bad. The only recourse is impeachment. Well, Donald Trump over the weekend, Friday night, when he illegally fired the inspector generals, broke the law. Where are the impeachment inquiries now? If Donald Trump breaks the law like he did on Friday night, what are the Democrats going to do? Nothing. That is not an answer. Many Americans, including myself, are concerned with the authoritarianism that is creeping into our federal government. And in the New York Times, a good op-ed from Jamel Bowie. And I want to read part of what Jamel Bowie wrote in the New York Times when it came to Democrats taking the initiative. And this was actually before Donald Trump came into office. This was what Jamel Bowie said the Democrats should be doing right away. Just over half the electorate did not vote for Donald Trump. They deserve leadership too. Indeed, the party's refusal to fight sends ripples through civic life. If Democratic leaders won't fight, then it's hard to expect civil society or just ordinary people to pick up the slack. Either democracy was on the ballot in November or it wasn't. And if it was, it makes no political, ethical, or strategic sense to act as if we live in normal times. It is not a distraction to vocally oppose Trump's would-be nominees or highlight his extreme intentions. Democrats should look at every aspect of the Trump administration as an opportunity to do well politics, to demonstrate their values and show the extent to which this president has no plan to pursue the public good. The quiet and supposedly responsible approach of the past 4 years is a dead end. Attention is the only currency that matters, and Democrats need some to spend. Democrats
Couldn't have said it better
need
myself.
to push, and call out every one of these authoritarian actions when it comes to Donald Trump. In fact, it's not just this freeze on all federal financial assistance. Yesterday, the Justice Department fired officials who investigated Donald Trump. That's the reason they got fired. Donald Trump got investigated in the last administration, and they got fired yesterday. More than a dozen officials who worked on the criminal investigations into Donald Trump have been fired. A letter from Acting Attorney General James McHenry to the officials said, quote, they cannot be trusted to faithfully implement Trump's agenda because they did their job, because they investigated a man who was suspected of breaking the law. McHenry wrote, you played a significant role in prosecuting President Trump. The proper functioning of government critically depends on the trust superior officials place in their subordinates. Given your significant role in prosecuting the president, I do not believe that the leadership of the department can trust you to assist in implementing the president's agenda faithfully. So basically, this acting attorney general, James McHenry, says because the nonpartisan members of the Justice Department investigated a man who hauled classified documents into his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago was investigated. Unbelievable. So if Democrats don't start pushing back on this, it's inherently approving it. That is not good enough.
No. They're basically fired for doing their job.
The time is 8:49. Back in a few moments here on 98.9 WXCO.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Feel it in the air. The wind is taking it everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you
Yep.
Play the big high school sports show promo.
You got it.
I'm Chad Holmes, joined former Newman Catholic head boys basketball coach Jeff Gress and myself every Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. for the Big High School Sports Show presented by K5 Construction on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Each week, we'll recap the action in high school basketball and hockey and look ahead to the coming week's matchups. Plus, we'll have special guests. Each week, we'll have an opportunity to sit down with one of our area head coaches to find out more about their team and their program. And also, we'll be joined by one of our area student athletes each week. We'll talk about their sports, talk about school, and a whole bunch more as well. It's the Big High School Sports Show, presented by K5 Construction, every Wednesday night from 6 till 8 p.m. on 98.9 WXCO, BullFallsRadio.com, mobile devices by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
No more timing, each tear that falls from my eyes. I'm not hiding the remedy to cure this whole heart of mine. I can dream about you if I can hold it tonight. I can dream about you. You know how to hold it just right.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. The time is 8:53 tomorrow night, 6 till 8 p.m., as we do every Wednesday night. Big High School Sports Show presented by K5 Construction. I'll be joined by former Newman Catholic High School boys basketball coach Jeff Gress. Talk about what's going on in high school basketball and hockey, plus special guests. Our coach guest this week from the first place team in the Merrillwood Conference South in boys basketball, Auburndale coach Chad Weinferder. He'll be with us at 6:25. And our student athlete guest will be Taylin Jershely, outstanding multi-sport athlete, right now leading the Mosinee girls basketball team. She'll be with us at 7:06. So Chad Weinferder of Auburndale, boys basketball coach at 6:25. Taylin Jershely, the terrific Mosinee junior, will be with us at 7:06. Big High School Sports Show, 6 till 8 p.m. tomorrow, right here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Last night in high school sports, game that we had right here on 98.9 WXCO, saw in girls basketball, Assumption defeat Marathon 75-47. Also last night in girls hoops, win for the Newman Cardinals. Newman Catholic defeated Tri-County 47-37. Athens lost to Rib Lake last night, 75-39. Auburndale beat Pacelli 61-54 as well. Boys basketball last evening, Northern Lutheran lost to Port Edwards 82-55. Also last night, Owen Withy beat Rib Lake 64-50, and Abbotsford over Cadott by a score of 92-75. Tonight, we have high school basketball, a pair of games, in fact. I will be at the Wausau West High School Fieldhouse tonight as the Wausau West Warriors take on the Stevens Point Panthers in a significant Wisconsin Valley Conference boys basketball matchup. You can hear that game live right here on 98.9 WXCO and online, starting with the pregame show at 7 and the opening tip at 7:15. Meantime, there's also a big one in the Merrillwood South in boys basketball, and Tom Weaver will be in Marathon for that one as the Red Raiders host the Stratford Tigers. That game can be heard live on the Sports 2 stream of WXCO.FM and the Civic Media app. 7 o'clock for the pregame, 7:15 for the opening tip. And again, that game can also be heard on a tape delay basis following our coverage of the West game on 98.9 WXCO. So again, West against Stevens Point live at 7 on 98.9 WXCO. And Tom Weaver will have Marathon hosting Stratford 7 o'clock on the Sports 2 stream of WXCO.FM and the Civic Media app. Also on the schedule tonight in high school boys basketball, Wausau East is at Merrill. DC Everest travels to Marshfield. Auburndale is at Newman Catholic. Rhinelander at Wisconsin Rapids. Mosinee travels to Appleton Xavier. Abbotsford visits Prentice. Rib Lake is at Athens. Assumption visits Edgar. Also, Iola Scandinavia is at Pacelli. Girls basketball tonight on the schedule. Wausau East is home against Merrill. Wausau West visits Stevens Point. Marshfield is at DC Everest. Also this evening, Assumption hosting Rhinelander. Marathon is at Nakusa. Wittenberg Burnhamwood at Wyowega Fremont. Tomahawk travels to Phillips, and Abbotsford at Prentice. High school hockey, the Central Wisconsin Storm back in action. They host Wisconsin Valley Union tonight at the Marathon Park Ice Arena. And in boys hockey this evening, Mosinee is at Medford. Wisconsin Rapids hosting Pacelli. Tomahawk at Northern Pines. Antigo at Wapaka. Spash is at Neenah Hortonville, Menasha. Rhinelander at Shawamigan as well. So again, lots of high school sports. And again, we say that if you're looking for a wonderful way to get out, support student athletes, be able to hang out with neighbors, hang out with friends, high school athletics is a wonderful way to do it. Really, tickets are so affordable, and just get out there and see our area student athletes in action.
Because we are very, very proud to be the only local Wausau radio station that still covers play-by-play action of high school sports in the area.
Not only one, but two tonight. So we're double dipping.
Very busy.
Got another hour to go here on the program. Coming up, we will be talking to Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library. That's coming up. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Exit sign is what you are. All that I saw in you, now I see through. Don't shed a tear for me. My life won't end without you. All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, January the 28th of 2025. We are up a few degrees, overcast skies, and 26 degrees at our downtown studios, corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. It is hour number 2 of the Chad Holmes Show on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Coming up a little bit later on in the hour, we'll have our daily history lesson, and we'll give Ian the number for the day quiz. But very happy to welcome back into the studio for the first time in 2025 from the Marathon County Public Library, Robyn Vargas.
Good
Robyn,
morning, Chad.
great to see you again.
I'm so happy to be back.
I don't know if you want to share it, but you're supposed to be with us 2 weeks ago. Flat tire.
Yeah, it happened.
Life came, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. Yep. Still made it to work just 2 hours late. I had to wait.
geez.
Someone came and fixed me,
As
got
I
me on
said-
my way.
As I
So
said, better than a fender bender.
yes, exactly. Yeah. But I know I was sorry to miss being here at the holidays. I think we missed one. So yeah, very happy to be
Yeah.
back today.
Well, it's great to have you back and talk about what's going on, not only at the main branch at the Marathon County Public Library here in downtown Wausau, but of course there are branches throughout the county as well. How have things gone? Because obviously when you have the holidays, things are a little different, especially this year because we had both Christmas and New Year's on Wednesday. It kind of threw, I think, a lot of things into a little bit of a whack.
Yeah.
How have things gone so far in 2025?
Yeah, things have been great. We've had some really excellent programs, and I'm really a little bummed that I couldn't share them with the listeners because they were really fun. We had one at Wausau called Mocktails. We had a couple dozen people come, and they just came and they read, and I'll share with you a little bit about our winter reading program soon, but it was kind of the kickoff for that. So we had that going. We've had some crafts. Yeah, just a lot of fun happening in January, some new monthly programs that have started up. So
It's actually a wonderful time to start new programs. I would
Yes.
think the sense of renewal with the new year,
Exactly.
and you get away from all the busyness and get people back into the patterns of visiting the library and being involved in the programs. Well, as we now, hard to believe, getting to the end of January towards
Yeah.
February, what is going on now? Where are we going to start? Start downtown? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start downtown. So I kind of briefly just mentioned our winter reading program, and that's for adults, which is really exciting because most of our reading programs are for children, which is great. And we love supporting the kids in our community, but it's nice to kind of support, our peers as well. And so it started the beginning of January, but it runs through the end of March. And all that is required is that adults read 3 books between now and the end of March. And then you get entered into a raffle to win a prize. So super easy to sign up. Just head on over to MCPL Wausau, our main headquarters, the second floor reference desk, and you can get signed up and then just read 3 books.
For me, that'd be hard because I read these thick books. I read these
Yeah.
biographies and history.
Well, maybe this will inspire you to pick
maybe.
up something shorter.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And that's the thing. You can any type of book.
Any book. Yeah, it's really anything goes. We haven't had a winter reading program for adults in at least 10 years. I talked to our adult reference librarian to see if she had known, and she said not in the 10 years that she's been with our library. And so we're really excited to kind of start that off this year. It's been going really well. We've had a lot of folks sign up, and so we hope to keep it going next year as well.
do you get a chance to see the types of books that these folks are reading? Do you have a sense of what kind of books they do read? Because that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think they are recording them on a log.
Okay.
They just kind of write down the titles.
really?
So yeah, we are. I'm not sure, I guess. Our
No,
adult librarian is kind of keeping track of that, and they haven't. I think we've had a couple people turn them in already, actually.
That's
But
that's the kind of thing that kind of interests me. That it'd be very interesting to see what kinds of books people are reading these days, or based on how old somebody is, comparing an adult to a child. A lot of different. I get into the weeds sometimes with some of that stuff, but that's very, very interesting. And again, if folks, you've started it, but you can get involved in it still.
yes,
Correct?
yep, you can sign up anytime between now and the end of March. So that's the second to last week in March, and you're like, hey, I still want to sign up. If you can get those books read in time, you can do it. So yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely, come on in. You do have to sign up in person, but that's perfect because then you're there at the library to grab some books.
Exactly. Well, you should want to go to the library anyways in person.
Yes, exactly.
What else is going on in terms of programming here in the early part of 2025?
Yeah, so we also have at our Wausau location that started at the beginning of January, a fiber artist meetup that's happening weekly on Wednesdays from 1:30 to 3:30. So at our Wausau location, so anyone who is a crocheter, if you knit, if you do embroidery, anything like that, just come on, hang out, knit with us for a little bit. We also have a teen craft program coming up this weekend, this Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30. We have some beaded wall art for teens. So taking like those little pony beads and kind of creating a template and then stringing them up together to create something beautiful.
I think that's great because nowadays we get so much, especially for the young people. There's nothing wrong with the idea of being involved on computers a lot, but you hear about these programs where you're actually using your own skills and your own talents. I just think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and just a chance to disconnect for a little bit, unplug, and spend some time creating and really get those other parts of your brain working.
Again, we're talking to Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library. She joins us every other Tuesday here on the program. Of course, lots of other programs and also, again, lots of other branches around the county that people should know about as well.
Yeah. Our branches, I would say, we have more happening in February. Kind of this last week in January is a little bit slower at our branches. We do have our story times and book clubs. We have those happening at all of our branches. Actually, this spring we'll have a book club and a story time every month. So you can check our website for those times and dates. But in Rothschild this week, we do have Lego Block Party. That's this Saturday. They do have that one on the first Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Rothschild. Just come on in and build with Legos. Again, another chance to just unplug and build something, create. They also have a snowplow story time at Rothschild next week, Wednesday. So that's February 5th. That'll be 10:30 to 11:30. Someone from the village of Rothschild will be coming with a real snowplow, kind of show them the ins and outs and how that works. And, kids love transportation, construction, any of those big trucks. So
may as well use the snowplow for some use, right?
Exactly.
You haven't been using it a whole lot here this winter.
Yeah. Like there is a snow date scheduled if the snow plow's in use, but it probably won't be how this winter's gone.
Well, yeah, what are the odds you finally get a 5-6 inches of snow on the one day?
Of course, it would be. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the book clubs. What do they involve? I mean, obviously, book clubs. Is it a assigned reading? For folks that may just say, "Hey, they hear a book club," it may pique the interest. What are the book clubs and how do they work?
Yeah, we do have an assigned book each month. And so you can find that on our website. We usually have a couple, we have through March up at least on our website right now. So if it takes you a little bit longer, you want to get on the hold list, you can do that. But each of our branches picks a book and then the members, you have that month in between to read it, and then they get together and have a great discussion over it.
That's fantastic. Again, just the group dynamic as well. I just think that one of the aspects of the library that should be underlined is the idea of a place where people can come together. And again, I talk about the technology and a lot of wonderful things about technology, but sometimes people get caught up in the technology and the human relationships, and to be able to have an opportunity to maybe to meet somebody new and to be able to get different ideas about these books has to be incredibly fun.
Yeah, for sure. And we have them all across the county. on different days, different times. A lot of them are during the day, but we do have, I know Marathon City, theirs is at 5:45 at night. And so for those who work late at night, most people can still catch that one. So
Any other activities you wanted to mention here?
yeah, we do have some other things happening at Wausau. I'll just share real quick. We have our Tales for Tots story time that's picking back up. That was kind of on pause for the fall. And so that'll start up again next week, Monday, and happen weekly on Mondays. And then our family story time will switch back to Thursdays. So we're excited to have 2 story times again, as well as our play and learn that's on Wednesdays. So really 3 story times a week at Wausau. But we also have our art cluster exhibit. Students from the Wausau School District in the 4th and 5th grades have created some works of art. And so we will be displaying those in our children's department at Wausau. So folks can come on in, get a look at those. It's always really cool to see what they make. And it's always something a little out of the box. I know last year we had kind of these 3D dioramas it was like a book, but it was a 3D book and coming off the page, and it was really fun. So those will be really fun to look at. And that is February 4th through February 19th. So it'll be up for a couple weeks.
Oh, very good. And before we wrap it up, I think we should also remind folks again about how many branches there are and maybe where they are for people that may not be familiar with it, because I don't think mentioned that in a while.
Yeah. So we have our main location, our headquarters, as we call it, in Wausau. That's our big one. And then we also have 8 branch locations spread out across the county. So it's going to be in Athens, Edgar, Hatley, Marathon City, Mosinee, Rothschild, Spencer, and Stratford.
Fantastic. And I guess we have 30 seconds to go. Anything else you wanted to mention before we wrapped it up?
We do have another public book sale coming up. So we always like to mention those. That'll be February 5th, that one's starting, and then going through February 8th. So that couple days there, open to the public. Come on in, shop.
And it'd just be fun to go through all those books.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to find that one that
a treasure.
Exactly right. Well, Robyn Vargas, glad the tires stayed up this time around.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See ya. Thank you.
Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out online, mcpl.us as well. The time is 9:18. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
When the day begins to end.
Hello there, this is James.
Melissa,
Chad.
and Seth, inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life, and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hello, I've waited here for you. If alone tonight, I'll throw myself into the blue. And out of the red, out of the head, she sang.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. It is 26 degrees at 9:23. And again, you just heard the promo for the are looking for new teammates. If you're somebody that is interested in sales and would like to get more information about some great opportunities here at WXCO and Civic Media, just send Chuck Gennaro an email, chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. That's chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us, GENNARO. And we'd love to talk to you and perhaps have you join our team. We had just a few moments ago, Robyn Vargas from the Marathon County Public Library, so we did not have an opportunity to properly introduce this hour, our in-studio engineer and our in-studio producer, Mr. Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
Coming up at the end of the program, we'll have our daily history lesson and, of course, our number for the day quiz, where you go for 2 out of 2 this week. Let's try to take another step towards that ultimate perfect week, which we're striving for. But would you like to know what the topic is for this morning?
Yes, I would. Mm-hmm.
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Got the Super Bowl coming up
in 2 weeks. I think less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. So Super Bowl. We will have a number for the day involving the Super Bowl coming up at the end of the program, plus a look at some of the famous events that have occurred on this date in history and celebrity birthdays, plus special events being acknowledged today and a whole bunch more. So that's coming up at the end of the program. Hey, did you know that a massive asteroid just missed the Earth this morning?
No, I did not.
Yeah, well, NASA tracked the path of an asteroid that shot past Earth going 35,000 miles per hour this morning.
Whew.
Asteroid 2025 BS4 came within 511,000 miles of our planet. Basically, to give you an idea how close that is,
okay,
that is twice as far as the average 238,900 mile distance between Earth and the moon. So pretty close. I mean, the moon's pretty close. It's about twice as far as the Earth, as between the Earth and the moon. But
there will probably be a video of that released later on the evening news, right?
Well, I don't know. The asteroid flyby occurred around 3:53 a.m. Central Time.
Ooh, it was early this morning.
That asteroid is roughly 23 feet wide and weighs as much as a blue whale. More than 970,000 pounds.
Well, that should have been the number of the day right there.
Well, it could have been. It could have been. If the space rocket hit Earth, the force of its impact would be equivalent to 19,000 tons of TNT,
Holy moly.
which would be powerful enough to do catastrophic damage if it landed on a large city. We keep hearing about these kind of asteroids coming close.
Yeah.
They never hit us. I shouldn't say that, but it's just I don't
Somebody's
know.
looking out for us.
I guess so. I guess so. But so this morning we almost had another asteroid come by the Earth. Do you ever have beef jerky?
I've had it like once in a while. I do enjoy it, but I don't have it like as often as probably the average person does.
No, I don't eat
I know
beef
there's different
jerky.
flavors of it.
But apparently a lot of people are enjoying it these days. In fact, dried meat snacks, which is a generic way of saying beef jerky,
Yeah.
sales were up more than 10% last year. You know how much money was spent on beef jerky in the United States of America in 2024? Another number for the day.
Yeah.
$3.29 billion.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be that much. I was just gonna say like 1 billion.
$3.29 billion. So again,
Just for the whole last year?
for the whole last year.
Wow.
Exactly.
That is an impressive number.
And also,
Do you like beef jerky?
no.
Not a
Ew.
fan of it?
Not a fan of beef jerky at all. And finally, I'm throwing some interesting little tidbits I came across this morning.
Okay.
Do you know what girl's name and what boy's name for newborns have fallen the most? Where they were popular names, but in the past,
They were popular,
but
they've
in the
fallen
past
down.
year, they've gone down the most.
Oh,
Well,
I do not know.
the
actually.
girl's name
Oh,
that
man.
declined the most, Jamie.
Really?
It's been a very popular name, but it's down 320 spots in the list of most popular names. And for boys, down a massive 433 spots, Jamal.
Interesting.
Jamie's a good name. I don't know why that's down so much.
Yeah.
Katie is down also, down 290 spots. So there you got it. Some little
names just lose their popularity
some
over time, I guess.
generic stuff you can impress your friends with here today. We got an information update coming up next. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Once again, hey, I'm
I'm Chad Holmes, joined former Newman Catholic head boys basketball coach Jeff Gress and myself every Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. for the Big High School Sports Show presented by K5 Construction on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Each week, we'll recap the action in high school basketball and hockey and look ahead to the coming week's matchups. Plus, we'll have special guests. Each week, we'll have an opportunity to sit down with one of our area head coaches to find out more about their team and their program. And also, we'll be joined by one of our area student athletes each week. We'll talk about their sports, talk about school, and a whole bunch more as well. It's the Big High School Sports Show, presented by K5 Construction, every Wednesday night from 6 till 8 p.m. on 98.9 WXCO, BullFallsRadio.com, mobile devices by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app.
To read his mind, but I'm frightened of the things I might find. Oh, there must be something he's thinking of to tear him away. When I tell him that I'm falling in love, why does he say?
Welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Mentioned earlier, 5 years ago today, went into the hospital for about a week. Bad case of pneumonia. And mentioned the fact that because of the Affordable Care Act, I am not living with mountain of debt that I would be paying off for the rest of my life. And I say that because as we get into the second Trump administration, we have a lot of government programs that are in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea, again, of basically being left on our own instead of, in the words of Hillary Clinton, being, are being a village. Instead, everybody's left to paddle in their own individual boat. And I have to admit, last week or so, been feeling pretty lousy. And I'm trying to put together in my thoughts because these 8 days have been beyond chaotic, beyond what we may have expected. Yes, Donald Trump talked about coming in and being a dictator on day one. But the amount that has been just poured on us since a week ago Monday, when he took the oath of office for his second term as president, has been just ridiculous. I mean, it's been amazing. And also the people around him that enable him. And one is the person I call the Ron Johnson of the United States House of Representatives. We have our Ron Johnson in the Senate, but we also have our Ron Johnson in the House, and that is Derek Van Orden, congressman from Western Wisconsin. Derek Van Orden had an embarrassing interview with Vicki McKenna. Vicki McKenna from WISN Radio in Milwaukee, right-wing talk show host, had Derek Van Orden on her program. And Derek Van Orden said that retired U.S. Army General Mark Milley and former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin should be court-martialed.
Oh, geez.
A military legal proceeding typically reserved for serious crimes because they made the Department of Defense too politicized to win wars. According to the Huffington Post, Van Orden told Vicki McKenna, "We have the most highly educated and powerful military in the history of the world. And we have not won a war in 80 years, which is wrong. He said the Department of Defense over the decades has become politicized, and it reached its peak when it was run by Lloyd and Milley. Van Orden said, those guys need to be recalled to active duty and court-martialed for their disgraceful conduct. It's been terrible. They've broken the military. The court-martial process is the most severe legal proceeding that someone in the military can face. Commissioned officers and sometimes enlisted personnel serve as the jury in a trial for members of the armed forces. Military commanders typically initiate court-martial proceedings, but presidents technically have the power to convene a court-martial too. Mind you, there is no evidence that Milley or Austin committed any crimes during their active service. Never mind severe crimes like felonies. Asked why he would propose such an extreme action or on what grounds, Van Orden railed against Milley and Austin but did not offer any evidence of criminal behavior. Instead, he complained about Milley making calls to his Chinese counterpart in the final months of Donald Trump's first presidency. Milley, who was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from 2019 to 2023, revealed in a 2021 book, Peril, that he was so worried about Trump potentially starting a war with China that he privately made 2 phone calls to General Li Junqing of the People's Liberation Army to assure him that it would not happen. Milley said he feared Trump, who had spent months lying about widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election, was poised to declare a national emergency and stay in power despite losing the election. The retired U.S. Army general has denied any wrongdoing with his calls, saying they were part of his regular communications with global defense leaders. As for Austin, Derek Van Orden criticized the former defense secretary for his role in President Joe Biden's withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. The Wisconsin Republican said, there is nothing more disgusting than when members of the Department of Defense desert their duty of protecting American citizens and service members. General Mark Milley is a disgrace to the uniform for communicating with the Chinese Communist Party and compromising our national security. Secretary Lloyd Austin is a disgrace to the uniform by not fulfilling his duties of executing non-combatant evacuation operations, not working with Secretary Blinken to fulfill the plan which resulted in the murdering of 13 U.S. service members, and improperly evacuating every member of the military and abandoning civilians in Kabul. Then, for some reason, Van Orden blamed the Huffington Post for making the world less secure. Leftist news organizations like the HuffPost should be ashamed, Derek Van Orden said. You are all complicit in the destruction of the Department of Defense and making the world less secure by disguising political activism as journalism.
Oh, boy.
Derek
it's amazing
Van
how enthusiastic
Orden.
these people get when they start to go off on the rails, when they don't present evidence and just, make up all these accusations, which I don't know if they're made up or not. That's not my point is to say, but it's amazing how much they really just put so much energy into all these exaggerations.
And again, when you're talking about former Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin as compared to the current Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Lloyd Austin, the guy that Derek Van Orden wants to court-martial, before he became Secretary of Defense, had to be a brigade commander, a division commander, a corps commander, multinational corps commander, United States Forces commander, vice chief of staff of Army, United States Central Commander, get awarded the Silver Star, and be a 4-star general, even to be considered for Secretary of Defense. Pete Hegseth had to be a weekend host on Fox News. So when you hear about DEI and about somehow lowering the standards, it's garbage. And Derek Van Orden, who, again, was on the grounds of the United States Capitol during the riot of January the 6th. Derek Van Orden, who are still waiting to see the video of him berating congressional pages after apparently having a few drinks in his office. Derek Van Orden is the one that is a disgrace to his position. Not Lloyd Austin, not Mark Milley. So again, I mean, the enablement of Trump and Van Orden by so many is disturbing on every level.
Yeah, it's just.
And again, 51-50. Pete Hegseth was approved. 50-50, and then J.D. Vance broke the tie.
I can't believe he was the deciding vote. He should not have been the deciding vote.
No, that's always the deciding vote. So I mean, that is constitutional. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that is when there's a 50-50 tie, the vice president breaks the tie. That's the way it goes. So no, there's not a problem with that.
All right.
But again, it's just, I mean, and there's another, there are so many outrageous stories right now. And that's why, again, the Democrats have to be stronger. This weekend, Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, a terrorist, he was sitting on stage with Donald Trump at a speech in Las Vegas this weekend. This man is a stormtrooper. This man is a criminal. That's where we are right now. So again, I talk a lot about Derek Van Orden here. I talk about Donald Trump, talk about Ron Johnson. But we also have to ask our Democratic leaders, the people that are in office, whether the Senate or the House on the Democratic side. You can't just sit back and say, okay, we're going to just try to allow Trump to hang himself. That's not going to work. We need leadership. We need more than Chuck Schumer putting out a written statement last night after Donald Trump announced that the White House is pausing all federal grants and loan disbursement. A strongly worded written statement is not enough. When Donald Trump breaks the law by firing inspector generals, a strongly worded written response is not enough. When Donald Trump does whatever he's going to do next, a strongly worded written response is not enough. We need strength. And if you're not willing to show it, sit down, get out of the way. If you don't want to be the Democratic leader, whether in the Senate or in the House, get out of the way and let somebody who wants to lead do it.
Best person I can think of to lead the Democratic Party is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
At the very least, she should have a role. She should definitely have a role because she is not afraid.
I don't think she's out of the race yet.
I think that her voice will be heard, but we need others lifting their voice. We need strength. We need, again, and frankly,
you just sit down and wait for something to happen.
Because if you just sit back and let it happen, drip by drip by drip, it's going to continue. And you can't have it be that way. So again, be strong.
Stand up for
Push
the American
back.
people.
Exactly right. We are going to take a time out and then come back, have our daily history lesson as we finish up on this Tuesday morning. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
And
Chad Home Show 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. The time is 9:52 here on this Tuesday morning, January the 28th of 2025. It is day number 28 of this year. There are 337 days remaining in this year of 2025. And a number of famous events have occurred on this date in history. On this date in 1813, Pride and Prejudice was first published in the United Kingdom. On this date in 1887, in a snowstorm at Fort Keogh, Montana, the world's largest snowflakes were reported, 15 inches wide and 8 inches thick.
Ooh, those are some big snowflakes.
On this date in 1958, Gottfried Kirk Christensen patented the Lego brick. On this date in 1985, USA for Africa recorded the hit single We Are the World to help raise funds for Ethiopian famine relief. Tragedy on this date in 1986. I remember this day well. I was in school when it happened. The Space Shuttle Challenger broke apart 73 seconds after liftoff, killing all 7 astronauts on board, including Krista McAuliffe, who was supposed to be the first teacher in space. And on this date in 2021, Bernie Sanders' mittens worn to the inauguration raised $1.8 million for Vermont charities. A number of famous folks are celebrating their birthdays today. Alan Alda played Hawkeye Pierce on MASH for many years. He celebrates his 89th birthday. Model Barbie Benton turned 75. Actor Catherine Morris of Cold Case is 56. Singer Sarah McLachlan turns 57. Mo Rocca, former Daily Show correspondent, comedian, is 56. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett turns 53. Joey Fatone of NSYNC is 48. Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys turns 45. Elijah Wood of the Lord of the Rings is 44. Ariel Winter of Modern Family turns 27. And if you out there celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you from all of us at 98.9 WXCO.
Happy birthday.
Some special events being acknowledged today. It is Daisy Day. It is Data Privacy Day. It is International Lego Day.
Nice.
It is Rattlesnake Roundup Day. It is Blueberry Pancake Day. It is Kazoo Day. It is Speak Up and Succeed Day. It is Pop Art Day. All right. Time for our number for the day quiz.
Yes.
And every weekday morning, we give Ian Welsh 3 choices when it comes to our number for the day. Based on the math, just by guessing, he should get 1 out of 3 right. So if he gets better than 33% for the week, it's considered a passing week. Below 33%, it's a failing week. But we want more than that. We want it to be a winning week, which is more right than wrong. And of course, his best week ever, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Still looking for a perfect 5 out of 5 week.
Right now, we're off to a good start with it, though. 1 out of 1. So here's a chance to improve upon that. And the pressure is really on. So I got to stay focused.
Yep. 1 out of 1
Super
so
Bowl.
far this week. And our topic is the Super Bowl.
All right.
Our number for the day is, what number of NFL franchises have never been to a Super Bowl?
Number of NFL
There are
franchises.
32 teams in the National Football League.
Okay.
How many have never been to a Super Bowl? Just getting there, not winning, but never been
Just
to a Super Bowl. Yep.
Okay. All right. What are my choices?
All right. Is the correct answer 2?
Okay.
Is the correct answer 4 is the correct answer. 6.
Yeah,
So
not
2,
very high numbers.
2,
Okay.
4, or 6.
Number
How
of
many?
NFL teams who have franchises, excuse me, who have never been to a Super Bowl?
Yep.
2, 4, or 6. Okay. Boy, if my dad was here, he could help me out with this one. But okay. And I go with my gut here. I'm gonna say. Okay, final answer. I'm going to say 4. I'm going to say 4 NFL franchises have never been to the Super Bowl. 4 is my final answer. I'm locking it in. 4.
All right. The teams that have never been to a Super Bowl are the Cleveland Browns,
Okay.
the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 4.
Yes. Oh, awesome. I got 2 out of 2 off to a good start.
2 out of 2.
Okay, now the pressure is really on.
Well, you've already got a passing week, so the pressure's not on in that respect.
I'm happy with that, though.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too, Chad. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Have a great day.
Tomorrow we'll be joined by Bob Look in the first hour and by Sean Wright in hour number 2. Wausau West Warrior Boys basketball tonight, taking on Stevens Point, 7 o'clock. Right here on 98.9 WXCO and online. And on the Sports 2 stream tonight, Tom Weaver will have Marathon against Stratford. Sports 2 stream, WXCO.FM and the Civic Media app. Matt and Air on Air coming up next here on WXCO.
Some of the